Hey, love it or hate it, Kendrick Lamar has come out on top. His Super Bowl performance is officially the most watched Super Bowl performance in history. And baby, he did not disappoint. There were so many Easter eggs. We're gonna get into all of them, and I'm gonna give you my opinion of everything. All right, y'all ready for this? Let's actually talk about it, okay? Because a lot of people said it was boring. A lot of people said they didn't get it. A lot of people said they didn't weren't entertained. But baby, a lot of people, it went over their head, and not in the way you think, not in the fact that they don't recognize art, which may be true, or the fact that they really need to squabble up. Not necessarily that either. But at the end of the day, Kendrick told us he is like an evil villain. He told us what he was going to do, when he was going to do it, and how he was going to do it. What was it? He said that the revolution will be televised. This was a play on Gilsard Hiram. The revolution will not be televised. He was telling us that the world has already flipped on its head, where before revolution took place behind closed doors and in secret, right? And the government controlled mass media. Things have turned over. Now the control is in secret, and the revolution must be televised because we need everybody we can to squabble up. But let's take a step back because why doesn't it matter whether everybody got it? Why doesn't it matter whether the whole world did it? Because he told us at the beginning of it, y'all, the revolution will be televised. He told us from the gate, he told us from the gate, this is not going to be a party. As a matter of fact, he told us months ago, it's time for the party to die. This was nothing short of a protest, but more importantly, it was a rally call. Why? Because he only needed 3.5%. What am I talking about? If you guys don't know, there is a 3.5% rule in all protests, especially nonviolent, which over time they have shown that it's actually even more effective than violent protests. Now, we might need to check whether the US government actually put that in there, but just hear me out. Kendrick was giving a rally call, a dog whistle, if you will, to people that were sick and fed up of the way the country was going. He acknowledged that it was time for protest, that double entendre. You picked the right time because the country has been moving forward, not just for political views, but between the haves and haves not, the rich and the poor, the powerful, the tyranny of evil men. It's been moving toward a tipping point in America. So America as a whole wanted a change and voted for immense change. You picked the right time, but the wrong person. Another double entendre. He could be talking about, of course, obviously himself. This was the right time for a protest, but you picked the wrong person if you think I'm going to play respectability politics. We'll get into that with Uncle Sam. But you picked the right time, but the wrong person. He could be talking about the current administration, okay? But you know, Kung Fu Kenny, wop, 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 wop. He likes to layer it up. But let's go back to this because I think this is one of the most important things, okay? You only need, Google it, 3.5% of any population to get and feel and understand the call to action, okay? Once you have that in any society, no matter how big or powerful, 3.5% can topple a government, lead to revolution, lead to arresting change. That is the magic number. So in the fact that a lot of people said, well, I didn't get it, it was boring. Baby, it wasn't for you to get. It was a dog whistle. Much like in America, racism to a certain point was done with a dog whistle. For those that are waiting, for those that are willing, for those that are listening, it was a rally call to move into squabble up, which means it's time to fight. It's time to get ready. It's time to go do things. On top of that, you look at Samuel L. Jackson. He was like, what? Samuel Jackson was Uncle Sam. This has so many meanings, okay? Uncle Sam, traditionally the heart of America, the fact that it was a black man, the fact that he showed throughout the performance that it was built on the backs of America was built on the facts of Black people, but not just Black people, all immigrants. Let's not forget Kendrick Lamar's baseball jacket that he was wearing, Gloria, Latino activists. We'll get into that later. Let's get back into Samuel Jackson. Again, there's layers upon layers upon layers. Samuel Jackson being Black. Why wouldn't Uncle Sam be Black? That was a sign of protest in itself to have a Black man playing Uncle Sam, where we are in the age that anytime a Black or anybody that is not white straight male achieves anything, there is a new word that has been made a slur, DEI hire, because there is no way, based upon your own intelligence or your own hard work, that anybody that is not a white straight male can accomplish anything of notoriety. So that was an act of protest, just even having Samuel L. Jackson play Uncle Sam. You look at Samuel L. Jackson, he usually plays the villain, and Django Unchained, he played a slave that was in love with his slave master, Snoop Dogg. But here's the thing. Again, why was he in love with his slave master? Because he was in love with the fact of being close to power. He was enamored with the power that his slave master held. Yes, it was his, but it would have been any slave master. He was so enamored with the power, but he had been led to believe through real world consequences he was a slave, and also his own mental slavery, right? In that regards, mental slavery is a choice. Physical slavery is not. They often go hand in hand, but at the end of the day, we were mental and physical slavery, right? But the mental slavery, he had convinced himself, because of real world constraints, that there was no way to break the system or beat the system. So he was fine to be a lapdog at the source of power, because the option of him ever being in control was never there. Now, when you get into what they're trying to tell us with the DEI hire, you see what I'm saying? But don't worry, we're not done. Anyway, right? Samuel Jackson, he played the villain, this and that. Much like there are people that are Black, Latino, or Arab, whatever you want to call it, that are so in love with the idea of cozying up to power and worshiping power for the sake of power. They convince themselves that in this power, they will never be at the top. But if they can fight to be the lapdogs at the feet of power, they actually win the game. Okay, that's one way to look at it. Okay, the only thing is, when you go back to that, there's also an additional level, because when you want to get into Uncle Tom, the Django Unchained, you're talking about respectability politics. This is something that happens with everybody dealing with a dominant culture, to quote Dr. Lamont Hill, right? Where they tell you because they brainwash you, because they don't want you to see what you actually possess. They tell you you're dirty, but you hire us to clean your houses. You tell us we're uncivilized, but you hired us and forced us to raise your children for generations. You tell us we're loud and rude and ghetto. However, as soon as you can, you snatch the culture, package it up into people that will let you be controlled. Drake, other rap people, but it goes beyond rap. You snatch the culture, package it up in ways that you can control it, the Kardashians, and you sell it to the world because you know how valuable it is. Right? Is it not? You tell us that we can't read, but then you take everything that we create. Anyway, he did an amazing speech. Go ahead and check that out. But my point of the matter is, right, when you look at the whole respectability politics, he was also saying it's too loud, it's too buzz, it's too ghetto. Why? Because we need to quiet down. However, if you take out of the Black context and you look at it in America, it is America, and the capitalistic machine says you must play the game. You either play the game or you get played. You either play the game or you get played. And let's talk about the way the game was played. Remember at the beginning when there was like the PlayStation remote. I get it. It's a game, but it's also a prison, because how do you escape? I'm going to do a whole breakdown because I saw so many Easter eggs, but let me just finish this. How do you escape? Yes, that's true. But when you actually punch in the code, and I did, when you actually punch in the code that Kendrick wrote in his halftime performance, which everybody said, regardless if you loved it or not, it was the most watched halftime performance. So all these people saying, who is this? I don't even know. You don't need to know. It wasn't for you. It was a dog whistle for anybody that's ready to activate. It was an act of protest. This was not a party. There are enough songs telling you to shake your ass for Drake. Now shake your ass. There's enough songs that you can do a diddy bop to. Kendrick did one of us. This was an act of active protest, and it was a call of arms for everyone to squabble up. Now, really important, because I actually Googled this when I put in what happens when you punch in that little code. And this is something I thought was super, super amazing. When you punch in that code, right? The PlayStation GTA code triangle, and you put triangle, square, like what everything he punched in. On PlayStation GTA, the code triangle, square, X, circle, square, triangle, X, circle, square, circle, square activates the cheat for max health and armor. Essentially, it gives your character full health and armor when entered correctly. You guys, it's God mode. He literally did the protest, said the revolution will be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy. And he was telling us we were about to enter God mode. And for all the 5%ers and hoteps on campus, I know y'all like God mode, God mode, God mode. Anyway, the key points about this code. The function. This code grants the player maximum health and armor in the game. And the important note, the exact button sequence, right, might differ slightly depending on the GTA game version you're playing. However, on the GTA version that Kendrick is playing, we literally entered God mode at the beginning of it. You guys, listen, there is so much to decode. I'm going to decode it, I think, actually in an actual video. But when I tell you, there's a reason it was the most watched. And the numbers are coming in. It was the most re-watched Super Bowl performance. So all I have to say is, for the people that needed to hear it, it was a call to action. And for the people that was asleep, it let them stay asleep. Because, baby, you only need 3.5% to change any society, no matter how big, how strong, how powerful, or how crumbling. Baby, shout out to the 3.5%. I think Kendrick's numbers prove, I think more people than that saw. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I will talk to y'all later. Bye. I'll do let me know in the comments, because it's going to be difficult. Let me know in the comments if you guys want me to do, if you guys want me to do an actual video breaking down every single frame, because I saw so much that I think a lot of other people missed. But let me know if you guys actually want to see it. Okay, y'all. Talk to y'all later. Bye.